Not the best weekend for Colorado sports. Three major teams for the Colorado area lost, so not off to a great start this week, but this is your Denver Sports Daily for October 14th. Let's go.
Taking you through your morning headlines, it's Denver Sports Daily with Rachel V. Hill.
The Broncos fall to the LA Chargers with a final score of 23-16. Unfortunately, this was a big game. I was teasing it all last week. It was huge. We wanted to get out and get an early lead against some of the divisional opponents like we did with the Raiders last week. Unfortunately, we couldn't do that with the Chargers. They fall to 3-3 now, but Bo Nix did show some very good signs that he is improving and going upwards and trending in the right direction. He threw for 216 yards and 2 touchdowns in what was an excruciating game up until the final quarter, which I feel like I can say with a lot of Broncos games. They start very, very slow. Broncos last week was different with the Raiders. They started, they went down 10-0, but then they came back early. This one was very, very reminiscent of last year where the Broncos just couldn't get it into their side of the half. They couldn't score. They couldn't really do much of the ball until that fourth quarter came and it started to click that they needed to, make this a game. And unfortunately, it came way too late, scoreless through 3 quarters. And the Broncos did try to mount a comeback in the fourth, scoring 16 unanswered points. But unfortunately, it wasn't enough. Semi-poor time management and timeout management held them back. But Bo showed some serious flashes again. He rushed for 61 yards, and that touchdown to Cortland Sutton was incredible. And I know some people are saying, I don't know if it was a touchdown. The ball kind of moved out at the, but the refs called it a touchdown. It's a touchdown, whatever. Yeah, no, that was a great ball, great catch by Cortland Sutton. That Troy Franklin touchdown, his first of the season, his first of his career, great ball as well. So those two were very, very good. Those flashes were amazing. He did exactly what he should have been doing, but again, it came far too late. And there's so much that held the Broncos back on defense, especially with PS2 going out early in the first quarter. I think it was one play in, he got ruled out for the game going into concussion protocol. So that's obviously a huge loss for the Broncos defense, and they were underperforming as well. Through those 3 quarters, they could not hold them. They really couldn't do much against the Chargers. Our defense was getting ran through, and it just wasn't what you want to see from a team that you have playoff aspirations for. And how we were talking last week is that this team could be a playoff contender. But, with this loss, they fall to 3rd in the division, still above the Raiders. But, again, you need to, get off hot. You need to start hot. If you're finishing slower, that's one thing, but you can't get hot in the fourth quarter. You can't win games if you're only scoring 16 points in the fourth quarter. It's just not what you want to see from a team that you have such high hopes for, and especially with Bo doing as well as he is doing. Now you're starting to move the blame. It's not as much Bo's fault. It can't be anymore, because what he showed in that fourth quarter was some serious, calmness under pressure, and he did what he had to do. But there are things that are moving parts. The defense was really, really lackluster yesterday, and part of it comes on to Sean Payton too, because it's like those play calls in the early first quarter and those early first periods, they weren't what you want to see from a head coach like Sean Payton. Now, moving on, the CU Buffs also lost this weekend to the Kansas State Wildcats, 31-28. That game was incredible to watch if you watched it. Shedeur threw for 388 yards and 3 touchdowns. I think he only had like 5 incompletions, but it wasn't enough to beat the 18th ranked Wildcats. Both Jimmy Horn and Travis Hunter left the game early with injuries, leaving Colorado undermanned. And despite this, Shedeur still performed at the highest level. Colorado did have a 28-24 lead with 2 minutes left, but then gave up a 50-yard touchdown and couldn't score for the rest of the game. And if you watch Shiloh this game too, Shiloh was not playing well. He had that one ankle breaker. Coach Dion actually spoke on his son Shiloh's performance after coming back from an injury and missing that wide open field tackle. He said, "I thought he played horrible," Sanders said. "I thought he was rusty. I thought he didn't have the footing. I thought he wasn't breaking down. He was coming up trying to make a play, but open field one-on-one tackle with that kind of back is not an easy task. But he's going to do better. I know what he has in him." If you watch that, it was not good. Even the announcers were calling that out, saying things, dropped him like a Kendrick diss track. Great line, by the way. That's amazing. What a call on that by the announcer. That's perfect, Trey. I see you laughing, man. That's, yeah, my producer Trey's laughing because that's amazing. But still, you don't want to hear that about your team, man. That was terrible. Shiloh was not playing well, and especially somebody who led our team in tackles last season, just not what you want to see from somebody who's supposed to be a leader on the team. He's one of the dogs on this team. He's not, he's supposed to kind of make those plays. And, Dylan Edwards, he moved from CU to K-State, and he was just running all over us. It was a main point that the CU Buffs had to stop the run game, and they couldn't. They could not stop the run game. And I don't want to be that guy, but at the end of the game, that ball that Shadur threw when it's 4th and 5, and he's throwing it all the way downfield, first of all, don't throw a 30-yard ball when it's 4th and 5. You need 5 yards, keep you in the game. You need to get a touchdown. You need to stay in it. But don't go looking for it all on one play. But also, how is that not called a PI? He was holding both of his hands down. If you watch that play, that is a PI. That is exactly what they should tell you. They're saying the ball was uncatchable. But come on, that ball's it's uncatchable because his hands are being held down. He's being pushed down the sideline. That is a PI that will die on that hill. But one good thing about that is that the stars really showed out. Many ex and current Nuggets were at the game, including Carmelo Anthony, Peyton Watson, DeAndre Jordan. And then one of the best things that I've seen, growing up, I loved Russell Westbrook and Kevin Durant on OKC. Those two got together. There's obviously been a lot of beef between those players in past. So seeing them get together and hug and embrace was really just one of the best moments of this weekend, honestly, because those two players live in the hearts of so many NBA fans, and seeing them finally come together at a CU game is really, really exciting to watch. And also it brings up the question, why is Kevin Durant in Colorado? Maybe. No, I don't think we need Kevin Durant. We have MPJ, who is Kevin Durant, basically. I will also stand by that. But still, CU falls to 4-2. They're not looking very good right now. That would have been a huge win. Probably would have got them ranked if they beat the Kansas State Wildcats, but just couldn't pull it out in the end. And then moving on, another loss. The Colorado Avalanche lost to the Columbus Blue Jackets 6-4. Again, I opened it up. Terrible weekend. Casey Middlestat, Nathan McKinnon, Ross Colton, and Miles Wood all scored a goal, which you would think 4 goals scored should be enough to win the game, but it wasn't enough to match Columbus's 6 goals. The best part of this game was arguably before the puck was even dropped. Nikola Jokic presented Nathan McKinnon with the Hart Trophy, which is awesome. The two MVPs, getting together. Nikola Jokic, obviously a legend in one status, and Nathan McKinnon, a legend in the other. Seeing those two get together was amazing, but still not the kind of play you want to see. And a lot of that comes down to the goalie play. The goalies were not doing what they should do. Georgiev and Justus Annunen need to be better. They need to be better. 6 goals a game is not something that the Avalanche can survive on. With that kind of performance, the Avs won't win a game. 6 goals a game is not how you win. 4 goals should be enough to win a game. And so letting up 6, a huge part of this is on the goalies. And there have been goalie issues for the longest time with Colorado. We were talking about it all last season. We can't win with these two people in the net. And unfortunately, it's living out right now. Fortunately, last year, we can make the playoffs. It's not going to work this year. It's not going to work. We need to make a change. And there's just got to be, something's got to bend or break, because it's just not working with these two people in the net. But that's going to do it for your Denver Sports Daily today. Again, terrible weekend. So sorry that I couldn't bring you any good news this Monday. But, there's always next week. We're going to go out next week. The Broncos do play on Thursday against the Saints this week. So maybe we'll get an early present. Maybe I can come back to you on Friday with some good news. But unfortunately, nothing today. That's going to do it for your Denver Sports Daily today. I will be back with you guys again tomorrow. I look forward to it. And thank you all for tuning in. I'll see you guys later. Bye.